joining us to speak today about income expansion. Who wants to expand their income? Yeah, it's a good thing to expand. Andra has been called a lighthouse for others and a compassionate navigator through uncharted waters. She brings over 20 years of experience into the education and self-development fields to her coaching practice and encourages men and women to take inspired action steps to live their life with purpose. Please welcome the beautiful Andra as she shares some of her
I am really awesome at what I do, and I deserve to be well paid for it. So how did that make you feel when I just said that? That's great. Uncomfortable? Neutral? Excited? What did you feel in your body when I said that? And were there any thoughts running through your mind? And what I'm going to suggest to you is that whatever you were feeling in that moment about me and me saying that is a reflection of what is happening within you when it's time for you to stand out, stand up, own your value, and ask for money. And I would love actually to take you through an experience of this. And since I can't invite you all up on stage, I'm going to do this through visualization. So if you're open to it, I'm going to have you close your eyes and drop in for a moment. So just take a sec to tune into yourself. You've got some beautiful speakers to help you drop into that, and that's great. And so what I'd like you to do right now is see yourself in a room or an auditorium that holds 30 to 50 people. Or if you're feeling really bold, you can see yourself in this room with 150 people. And instead of me up on stage, it's you. Whatever room you're in has a big stage, it has a spotlight, it has a microphone. So imagine yourself now walking up to that microphone on the stage in the spotlight and looking out at the audience. This audience is filled with your ideal clients and customers, your past clients and customers, your hopeful future clients and customers, your potential referral partners, your potential business partners. Basically a room full of people that you want to connect with to grow your business and grow your income. So walk up to the mic, take a deep breath, look out into your audience of your people, and say these words, and you can say them out loud now if you want or in your head. I am really awesome at what I do, and I deserve to be well paid for it. I'm going to ask that you keep your eyes closed, and I want you to notice what just happened when you said that. What does the audience look like? Can you zoom in on some faces? What do the faces look like? What is the body language that you're seeing? What are people doing? Are they saying anything? If they have little bubble clouds over their head, would you see anything there? And then take a moment to tune into yourself and notice what you look like up on that stage after you just made this bold statement. And see what you look like. Notice how you feel in your body. Notice the energy of the room. I'm going to invite you to stay there just for one more moment. And you may be seeing some really beautiful, positive things, and that's amazing. And I'm going to invite you to look for the less positive in this moment. So that person who has a neutral face, maybe their arms are crossed, maybe they're whispering, and then look at your own self and see yourself on stage and take a look at what you look like, how you feel, and maybe even notice how you made that statement. So take one more moment here to gather this information. It's really important. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And if there is anything you want to capture, I would suggest doing that. What you just witnessed for yourself are some unconscious beliefs, thoughts, fears that you have about putting yourself out there, about promoting yourself, and about being visible. I remember the first time I did the work that I'm going to be sharing with you today is something that I had to go through first in order to be able to serve people with it. And when I got up on stage, I looked out, and most of the audience was smiling. There was a few neutral faces, and then there were a few people chatting. I mean, overall, they weren't super excited, actually, like you guys were. That was awesome. So it was a really good insight for me. It was very neutral, very calm. I'm kind of neutral, kind of calm, so it was a really interesting reflection to see that. But I was also asked to go deeper, and so I did. And what I saw kind of blew me away. I looked at myself after I had said this, and I was literally starting to vanish, like disappear, gone. And that blew my mind, because that was clearly something subconscious for me. I had been in front of people speaking for almost my whole adult life. I was a teacher, a trainer, so I'm comfortable to be speaking, and I'm comfortable in the material that I'm presenting, so it wasn't about that. What I later learned was that it was about my deep, 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 deep stuff, about my right to take up space, about my right to shine brightly, about my ability to speak my truth and my value, and my ability to really be seen and heard in the world. And that was mind-blowing for me, and very deep rooted, so not conscious. And so through this work, I spent some time doing this, and so much in terms of clearing it and uncovering it and releasing it. And I'm now literally on stage in front of my ideal clients, collaborators, business partners, and I'm actually saying those words that I am really awesome at what I do, and I deserve to be well paid for it. And what's happening in my physical body is I am not shrinking, I'm not vanishing. I am standing here fully embodied in this. I am congruent with this, and I'm able to share this with you to be of service to both myself and of service to you. And so that is what I really want for you, because the reality is you are not going to have to probably stand up on stage and say these words, but what you do have to do, if you want to grow your income and your business, is to own that energy, or to hold that energy, and to be congruent with the I'm awesome piece. So what I would love to do today is share a little bit about some of the inner work that we can do to uncover some stuff so that we can release things, so that we actually can step in and grow our biggest self and our biggest business. So I'm going to be speaking about the inner work of income growth. And of course we need outer actions, we need outer strategy, we need support, we need all of these things. But make no mistake that we need is the inner work that drives the outer actions, or the lack of the actions that we're taking. So I'm going to be talking about something called money blocks, and just kind of label it that to give it a name. And it's like any other block that we have. It's something that we have likely downloaded unconsciously, very often at a very young age, without knowing, without having the capacity to discern what we were taking in, or to analyze it, or to pick it apart and question it. We just downloaded it because we know the subconscious mind is like a computer, and it just got implanted literally in our subconscious. And I think many of you know that most of our actions, behaviors, decisions, and therefore our results are driven by the subconscious. 95%, that's the stat. And that leaves 5% for our conscious mind, which is our planning mind, our goal-setting mind, our intention-setting mind. And that is amazing. But if that 95% does not line up with the 5%, that is really going to impede your progress in terms of your growth, your income growth, your business growth, and even your self-growth. So I'm so passionate about this work because I've been a life purpose coach for a number of years. And I found really, I love helping people uncover what they are here to do and how they want to express it. But the number one thing that people blocks them or holds them back is money, right? So can I actually do what I want to do and make a living at it? Or I have left and I'm doing what I want to do and I'm not making any money and I maybe want to quit and maybe this isn't for me and maybe it's time to give up. And I still get that because that was me. And so I really realized there was a piece missing in the work that I was doing. And I knew that I actually needed that piece first. And so I went through the process myself so that I could then share this with other people. And I'm going to be talking about inner work, but I know we are all, I'm not going to say motivated, but we need some external results because we live in an external external world. We do need to be able to pay the bills. We do need to be able to live our best life. We do need to be able to have the resources to do the things that we love and that make us happy and support the people that we want to support in our lives. So we do need to have that piece around money. And so for me, I wanted to share so you can hear a little bit about my inner transformation in my ability to stand here fully in myself and own what I do, and own the money piece around what I do. And so that has, of course, resulted in external results for me. Income growth, income expansion. Every month the income gets larger. I was able to leave my sort of safety net side gig and to really pursue this full time, which is what I've been wanting to do for years. I've manifested a lot of money actually in the past 6 to 8 months. I didn't even realize how much it was until recently. And that has allowed me to take a trip of a lifetime, to do some renovations that have allowed me to further expand my business. And opportunities continue to present themselves to me. So I wanted to share a little bit about my truth in this, that it wasn't always like that. And I needed to go through this deep work, which is money is a symptom of the root of something deeper. And so I'm so passionate about it. I've seen it with the people I work with, and I so love holding space for people to go to these places to release what is really blocking them from living their best life and their best purpose. Because I really feel that you may be aligned with your purpose. If not, that's your first step. Step 2 is to expand your purpose and to be telling more people what you do, letting them know how it can benefit them, and asking them to work with you. And that's a piece of what we need to do if we want to grow a business, is ask people to work with us. And so a lot of us, I would say most of us, probably need step 3, right? So it could just be as simple as those 2 steps. Line up with your purpose, get clear on what you offer, feel really good about it, and then tell a whole bunch of people. And then the income starts to come in. But that doesn't happen for so many of us because there's stuff in the way. And it's really important to clear that stuff, because without that, it is really hard to progress further. So I'm going to just give you a few ways that money blocks can show up in our lives, and just maybe see if any of them resonate with you. I know a lot of them did for me, and I worked through a lot of them, but it's always a process, right? We're always up-leveling ourselves. And every time we up-level ourselves, more stuff comes up. So money blocks can show up as I am not promoting myself, or I'm awkward promoting myself, or I undervalue myself and my services. I undercharge for my services. I don't ask for much from people. It's feast or famine in my business. I earn a whole bunch of money, and then all of a sudden a big expense comes, and that money is gone. It shows up as a need to please, as a need to be liked. It shows up as avoidance. I have no idea what my numbers are, and I don't want to know what my numbers are. And all of these things, or even in our ability, or we have sometimes this underlying sense of, I don't really want to stand out, but I don't know why I don't want to stand out. And so, hopefully, and I think not hopefully, but I think truthfully, probably there's something in there that might resonate with you if you are a purpose-driven, heart-centered entrepreneur. And so that is my passion, to help people start to see these things, because the first step is awareness. So I'm going to share 3 of the most common blocks that people have, how they block us, but the best part is that when we clear them, they can actually propel us forward. And so the first one is our earliest money paradigms. And so this is the stuff, this is the stuff that we have downloaded at a very young age, probably the age of 5 to 7. So what I was talking a little bit about earlier. But it's around money, and these things can be really obvious. It can be obvious, like there's lots of fighting around money in my home, and so there becomes this connection between anger and fighting and money, which is not a great connection to have. There can be an association with sadness, and it might not be tears that you see, but maybe you just see this look on your mom's face when you're a kid, when your dad is handing her the grocery money, and it feels very small and very limited and unhappy. And again, you make that association. Or it can show up in a way that you were spoken to not even unkindly, it could be unkindly, but not necessarily. It could be something like, oh, don't be so greedy, or you can't have everything you want. And so all of these things get downloaded or absorbed. And again, as a young child, we just absorb. We're super intuitive and we just take it all in. And we actually don't question any of it because we don't know how to do that. And it's just downloaded on our subconscious mind. And so the way it holds us back, we think when we look at our numbers and they make us feel uncomfortable, that's the problem. The problem is my numbers, I don't have enough income, I have some debt, I don't feel good about this, and that's why I feel anxious right now. But the reality is, those uncomfortable feelings came before the money. Those uncomfortable feelings were downloaded to you as a child, you've been carrying them, and you've brought in the money to match those underlying beliefs or thoughts or experiences that you have. So it's not the other way around. And so what can happen when we clear this, so first of all, people feel way lighter, like a heavy burden has been lifted. Because it's like we almost intuitively know, this is not my shit, right? We kind of know this is not my stuff, this is just stuff. I don't know why I'm having trouble making money. I don't know why I'm having trouble standing out. I don't know why this is happening. But we kind of know that it's something that we have no control over. And that is, we have control over many things, but as Tammy was alluding to, we don't have control over everything. And so this was downloaded within you, and so then you are living it. And so when you release that, it releases this huge amount of energy that you can then devote to your business, to taking the actions that you need to be taking, to doing the uncomfortable things that you need to do sometimes. And that, of course, results in more income. So that's a big one. I could talk on that for hours because we all have stuff. We all have had a childhood. Most of it, this comes from our parents or primary caregivers. It also can come from school or things that are around us. But it's very prevalent, and some are very obvious, and some are very subtle. And that's why I love this work, because for me, none of this was really like obvious, right? It was not like big fighting in my home about money, nothing like that. It was all these little subtle things that I sort of took in, and I didn't know that they were there, but they were sort of running the show. The next block I'd like to talk about is a big one for me personally, and it's definitely one I see with so many, especially heart-centered entrepreneurs. It's people I love. This is about, you are my people, because you are amazing people who are doing amazing things in the world, and I believe that's what we're all here for, to be the fullest expression of ourselves, and to allow that expression of purpose to serve others around us. And so this vow is called the vow to be invisible. And so that was a little bit that visualization that you did at the beginning. And you can see how I literally became invisible when I did this in my own visualization. I literally started to disappear. So this was a big one for me to clear. And I will say it's ingrained in so many of us. Don't stand out too much. Don't toot your own horn. Don't be too big for your britches. Don't be too shiny or too big. And these can come from so many places. I mean, it can happen in childhood, but it can happen throughout our whole lives. And I just want to share my story around this because I feel like maybe you'll see yourself in this story. And again, it was subtle, and I didn't see it until recently. When I was in grade 6, I did stand out. I was a little bit shiny. And there were some awards, and I won some of those awards. And for me, I was happy, I was grateful to win them, but I wasn't really attached to them. And I remember that was the second last day of school. And then on the last day of school, my 2 friends were going to come and walk with me to school. Except there was only one. And I said, well, where's the other one? And she said, yeah, she doesn't want to walk with you because she thinks you think you're so great. And I remember it felt like a punch to my gut. 30 years later, it felt like a punch to my gut. And even though I've done some work around it, I can still feel a little bit in my gut. And so, of course, apparently I had said, which I didn't say, something like, too bad we all can't be winners, or something ridiculous like that. But what I do remember is on that day, last day of grade 6, was making a decision, and I'm going to say it was probably a vow to not stand out. Because if I stood out, people wouldn't like me. And so then I started grade 7, and in grade 7, whenever the spotlight was on me, I shied away from it. Whenever I was paid a compliment, I deflected it. I diminished myself myself, I always made myself smaller because I didn't want to stand out too much, because then I wouldn't be liked. And then people would talk about me, and then when people would say not nice things, they would be judging me. And so I continued to the lesser extent, but over the next 30 years to do that, to always make myself a little smaller. And I could disguise it, even in the work that I'm doing, or when I was a teacher, I was like, well, my job isn't to be big, it's to support other people to be big. And as a coach, I'm helping people become successful and become large. I don't have to be big. But that was just a sneaky way, and the reality is, of course, if I want to be successful and grow my business, I have to stand out and I have to show up. So I wanted to share that with you because until recently, like I said, it was kind of under the surface, but it was really driving the show. And so the power of clearing that is so profound for me. And it is for you as well, because you are all awesome at what you do or what you offer, who you are, and you do deserve to earn good money for doing that, and or receive good money or have money in your life. And so it's just about clearing those pieces, and once you do that, what happens is that whole shrinking thing goes away. You start to shine more brightly, you start to show up more fully, you start to be charismatic and attractive to people. You start to promote yourself more fully, and all of these things, A, are an expansion of self, which is what we really all are here to do, to grow to be our biggest selves. But it also allows you to then be taking these actions that are so needed. We have to be visible, we have to shine, we have to take up space in our businesses if we truly want to grow them. And so I'm so passionate about that piece. And on that note of visibility and shining, I think this is a great opportunity to thank Natalie, because she offers a space and has been offering a space for people to show up and shine in a very safe, supportive way, to be visible, to stand out. This summit is one of many things that she provides, so I really want to thank you for that, because that's what we need. We need to clear this stuff, but we also need to have a really great space in order to be able to do that and surround ourselves by people who are going to support us to do that as well. I would like to finish with one more activity, because I want you to have experience of this, because this work is about, it's not just knowing it, it's about doing it and feeling it, and that's why I wanted you to feel the stage one. And I would recommend doing that multiple times, because every time you do it, more stuff will come out. But I would like to show you now a little bit how your money and your nervous system and your mind are connected. So if you have a piece of paper, grab it. If you don't, that's okay. But what I'd like you to do is write down your current income. So your income after taxes and after expenses if you have them. And if you're not working, you can write down the amount that you have access to in your life. Write that number down. And you can do that monthly or annually, however you work, but we'll keep that consistent. And then I'm going to get you to write down what you actually want to be earning. Write that down below. Again, that can be monthly or annually. So just take a moment to look at that number, or if you're not writing it, to visualize it and see it in your head. And I want you to notice the first two feelings that come up in you when you look at that number. It's not a thought, a feeling, right? It could be, I'm anxious, I'm nervous. It could feel I'm excited. It could feel scared. It could feel helpless, like how is this ever going to happen? So I want you to write down the first two things that came up for you in that moment. So this isn't about overthinking about it, it's about feeling it. So look at the number again if you're not sure, see what comes up within you, write it down. And then I also want you to write down the first thought that came into your head when you saw that number. Okay, so that could be awesome, it could be it's not enough, it could be that's impossible, whatever it is, I want you to capture that. And so what I'm showing you here is that there is a connection. We haven't done anything, nothing has changed. All we did was write a number on a piece of paper, and there were feelings and thoughts attached to that. And if those feelings and thoughts were 100% great, then awesome, you are on the right path, and you're likely already almost earning that income if not already. But if there's anything underneath that that is the stuff that you want to clear. And I'm going to give you one more thing, because again, in the work I do, we set really outrageous goals, because we want to be setting something that is beyond our comfort, that is part known and part unknown. So what I'd like you to do is to write down double the income that you wanted to have, double that and write it down. And if that doesn't feel big enough for you, triple it or quadruple it. You know where you are right now. And again, I want you to write down the 2 first feelings that come up for you when you look at that number, and the thought that comes up for you. And again, this is just to show you that we need to be setting goals, right? We need to actually have a plan of action. But if we are not aligned with that goal, talking about vibration and alignment, I'm a law of attraction coach, so I totally get that we want to affirm that we're going to get something, we want to think positively, but if internally that is not lined up, that is where we're going to manifest from, that is where we're going to create from. So it's really important to release these inner things that are holding us back. And so what happens when we do that, so in terms of the tangible, right, you then start to see people taking actions that will actually produce results. These actions tend to be much bolder. The income starts to get met. I have clients who we've set income goals and they achieve them in our work together, and then we have to up-level it to the next level. And so what's possible for you once you clear all of these things and uncover them, I'm really talking about the uncovering piece today, just to give you that awareness. There are multiple ways you can do some clearing around this, and if you are interested, come and chat with me about that. One of the big modalities I use is tapping, and I'm also a Reiki practitioner, so there's also that piece, and there are others. So, but for right now, it's about becoming aware of these subconscious things that are driving you, bringing them to the light so you can look at them, you can journal on them, you can acknowledge them so that you can see them, so that you can then release and create what it is that you want. And I do love this work, and I love the people that I get to work with, and I will say, this is not stuff that is easy to do on your own. And so if you do feel like you would like some support, I would love to be that support for you. So I have an offer for you today, and you can sign up at the back table. But this is a personalized tapping into wealth. That is the program. I talked about 3 blocks. There are 10 plus, and obviously a lot more depth to the work. So if you are feeling like you are called into, you know there's more out there for you, you know you should be earning more income, you sense maybe that there's some kind of block, or you're doing well but you can't seem to get to the next level or raise your income ceiling, then I would invite you to have this conversation with me. It's a complimentary session, and what will happen is we'll look at, I'm going to give you a space to really talk about your truth, right? We need to bring our money stuff to the light so we can take a look at it. We'll look at what your goals are, and we'll look at the potential blocks that might be holding you back. And so, with all of this stuff, it's about a collaborative experience. And so even when you do sign up for that, if you choose to, it resonates. It's either resonates or doesn't, right? You either like, no, I don't need that, or you're like, I still need that. And so if you do sign up, I'm going to send you an email, and in that email, you're going to be required to take action, and that is to book your session, you actually have to complete a questionnaire, which is going to ask you to go deep within yourself so that you can start to pull this up, so that when we meet, we can actually make the most of the conversation. So I invite you to that if that appeals to you. I also have a Facebook group called Prosper Through Your Purpose, and I'd love to see you there. It's all things prosper and purpose, so it's about some tips and tools, like things like Tapping Tuesdays, expansive questioning to help you up level. And so I think you just need to ask for an invite, and I invite you in. And it's a really, really great group of women that are there. I love it. And so I wanted to offer those opportunities to you, but I really wanted you to sort of understand what is holding you back, and that it is possible for you to clear that. I spoke at this event a few years ago, and I started by saying, your purpose matters, you matter. And that is the truth. Whether you choose to pursue your purpose as your business or vocation, or you choose to use it as an expansion of self, it is a beautiful journey. It is so worth it.